Okay, so we're going to re-record my beginner or bodyweight core circuit. It's really important to maintain a strong core, especially if you lift a lot of weights. Having a strong core will maximize all of your lifts. So we're going to go through a beginner bodyweight core circuit that you can do. So the way I like to structure my core circuits is 4 exercises as one circuit, and I'll do 2 circuits. Now I'm going to have 3 levels for you guys. So level 1, 30 second each exercise with a minute rest between repeats. Then you can build it up to 45 seconds, then you can build it up to a minute. So we're going to do, let's say 30 seconds of each of the 4 exercises in circuit 1. We're going to repeat that 4 times, and then we're going to do the same with circuit 2. So the first exercise we're going to do in circuit 1 is a crunch. So a crunch is really good for building up your abdominal muscles. So we're going to get into this position here. So we're going to have our feet in line with our legs and our hips. We're going to have our back flat against our yoga mat here. Normally you might find that you have an arch in your back here. We want to actually tilt our pelvis down to avoid that. We're going to keep our core nice and tight. From there, it's completely up to you where you want to put your hands. You can have them above your head like this. You can have them like this. I'm just going to have them above my head. So what you're going to do, you're going to drive through the cord, come up like this and back down. Your second exercise is going to be a leg raise variation, which is good for targeting the lower portion of the abdominals. So I'm going to show you 2 variations that you can do as a beginner. The first variation is doing it single leg, and the second is doing it with a bent leg. So we're going to get flat onto our yoga mat here. Again, put our pelvis onto the floor and our legs straight. Now as a beginner, I also like to take my hands and put them under my bum to really help elevate me. We're then going to hold our core nice and tight, take one leg and bring it all the way up and back down, and then alternate legs. The other variation is a bent leg. So take both legs at the same time, and as you're coming up, you're bending them. And then as you come back down, you're straightening them and you're not touching the floor. So if you are brand new, I'd probably start with the single leg and then move on to this variation where you can practice not touching the floor with your feet and instead holding that tension in your core there, and then coming up with bent legs. The next exercise we're going to do is a plank shoulder tap to get you used to holding your core in a stable position. So we're going to get to a plank position. For a plank position, you're going to keep your back nice and straight. You're going to plant your hands on your yoga mat in line with your shoulders. You're going to get out onto your toes, and you're going to maintain this position. So we don't want our butts up. You're going to be a nice straight line. We're going to hold our core nice and tight. We're going to take one arm, tap our shoulder with it. So we're going to take our left hand here, tap our right shoulder, back down, and then the left shoulder with the right hand, and repeat. And we want to try to minimize swaying as much as we can, and just try to be as stable as possible. Now, if this is a little bit too challenging, you can always drop onto your knees. Just make sure you're maintaining that same position. And there you go. Circuit 1 is nearly done. Last exercise is a dead bug, which is another core exercise. So we're going to get onto our back, and we're going to take our legs, keep them bent, and hold them up in this position here. We're going to have our arms up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to extend one leg down like in your leg raise, and bring one arm above our head, alternating. So if I've got my left leg, as I'm bringing that down and straightening it, I'm also bringing my right arm above my head and coming back up. And then we're going to repeat this movement. This is also really good for coordination. And there's your first circuit, 1 of 2. So complete every exercise for 30 seconds to start out. Have a rest of 30 seconds to a minute, whatever you need, and repeat that circuit 3 to 4 times. Then we're going to move on to circuit 2. Okay, to start off circuit 2, we're going to start with a modified V-up variation. So if you're not sure what a V-up is, a typical V-up will have this kind of starting position, come down like this, and then you're coming all the way up, making your body a V. But that can be a little bit hard for beginners. It's hard for me. Now, I don't train core a lot, that's probably why, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to do a modified version. So we're going to do an alternating, like the dead bug, cross body V-up. So we're going to come down, take our right arm, our left leg, we're going to come all the way up. We want to try and touch our foot with our hand here, come down, and repeat. Extra points if you come all the way up as well, but baby steps. Next up, we're going to do Russian twists. This is good for training your core in a rotational way. We're going to get on our bum. Now there's two variations you can do based on your fitness level. You can be a beginner and still be able to do a slightly more advanced version of an exercise. So we're going to start with a bum planted. We're going to lean into this position here. We're going to keep our feet planted, clasp our hands together, and we're going to use our core to rotate left and right. And you should be able to really feel that tension, both from rotating and from holding your body up in this position. Now, if you're feeling fancy, you could actually lift your feet off the ground. Third exercise we're going to do is a toe tap. So we're going to get on our backs with the butt on the floor. We're going to have our legs up as straight as you can. And then we're going to do almost a crunch. So we're going to have our arms up here. And now you've got two versions of this. Version one, have your arms up and then you're going to bring both up at once to try to imagine you're touching your toes. Or you can alternate. You can take your right arm and try and touch your left foot and repeat. Okay, final exercise is a stationary one, and I do apologise in advance. We're going to do a plank. Now I understand that planks are hard both mentally and physically, so we're just going to do them kneeling. So you're going to get into your kneeling plank position. So we're going to take our arms and have them in line with our shoulders. We're then going to stretch all the way out. So we don't want to be in like this tabletop position. We want to actually be stretched out and have our bodies look like this. We're then going to hold that position. This is your beginner step one. Hold that position for about 30 seconds. If you can do that easily, go down onto your forearms and hold it like this. Again for 30 seconds, and then you can start building that up for longer and longer as well. Keep your core nice and tight, don't let your bum sag, don't let your bum go up. We want to maintain that nice straight posture. And there you have it. That is the second circuit of the beginner bodyweight core day done. Give it a try, see how you go. And don't be too discouraged if it feels challenging for you. The core does not get trained a lot, it often gets neglected. So especially if you're brand new to the gym setting or the fitness setting, whatever it is, it's completely okay to struggle with this when you start, but that's it. So remember, about 30 seconds for each exercise with about 30 seconds to a minute rest. After the circuit's done, we don't want to rest between the exercises. Do your 4, rest, and then repeat, and then move on to your next circuit and do the same thing. Good luck guys, and if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.